So,
So
hi Marvin, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon on Positive Mindset. So, over to you.
thank you, Shelley. I hope everybody is well. Thank you for having me. And I just want to firstly start off by saying I am no boss, and I'm a student of life. And I wouldn't say I'm wise. I'm just constantly learning, and yeah, it's just a wonderful adventure. I see life as a teacher, and it just constantly guides situations and people to me, and I just look at the lessons that it's presenting.
Mm.
Sometimes it's not just what to do, but it's also what not to do. So I'm just always observant of just the happenings, of the guidance. So I'm a student of life, servant of the light. And I feel it's my duty to just share my experiences. And for me personally, having a positive mindset saved my life on many levels. As a young man, I was very much negative to a certain extent and angry because of certain childhood experiences. And so I always used to be vocal about it, in a sense of saying that my day is going to be rubbish, that things are going to go wrong in my life. And it would actually be that way. And this happened for quite some time. And then I think it was like a light bulb moment where I decided to just change my way of speaking. And I said, I'm going to have a good day tomorrow. I'm going to meet nice people. And it actually happened. So that's when I realized that the power of our words is more than we can ever understand or fathom. So I just started to live my life a certain way in regards to just being more positive, yes, but just doing the right thing. And I'm far from a master or guru, because I still have moments where, as much as I'm here speaking to you about positive mindset, doesn't mean I'm positive all the time. I have days where I'm down. I've shed many tears in my time. So it's not, please don't see me as somebody who is at the pinnacle, who is perfect, because perfection is a myth. We're all in this journey called life, and we're just students, babies, in fact, trying to walk. And there's a lot of there's being this it's a human condition, in fact, this flesh. So there's certain things that we'll never be able to just fully eradicate. And that is the negative thoughts, because we're transmitters and receivers of energy. So we will always receive, not just from us, but from our surroundings, from other people, because we're beings of energy. So once I realized the power in my words, that also affected my thoughts. So I started being conscious of the thoughts I was putting out, and I saw a drastic change in my life. Not straight away. It was just practice makes improvement. And I just started seeing things changing in just how I would deal with people. And there's certain laws in creation, which is a lot of people forget, but which will never change. And that is, whatever we put out, we'll always receive. the law of reciprocal action. So in that knowledge, we have to be aware that every single word and thoughts that we put out will eventually return back to us in one way or another. So having a positive mindset will actually protect you from the negative karma of threads that we've put out in the past. And so now it's like it will create a force field, because I realized that once things happen, this is life. You will not live a life with complete and utter ease. And if you do, I actually feel sorry for you, because it's not meant to be easy, and we live our lives doing everything possible to have an easy life. But in fact, that's the worst thing for us, because it doesn't give us growth. It doesn't give us character. And we came from somewhere, and we're going somewhere. And we're here to experience all aspects of life, not just the good, but also the challenges, which is in fact good for us because it gives us growth, So once you are aware of certain things, you know that everything is energy. So your words have energy, your thoughts have energy. And so this will affect us in a physical sense in regards to our physical health. And it's actually been proven by doctors. There's a book that I will be showing you shortly in regards to the effect that having negative energy has on our physical well-being. So it's the same way we look after our physical body and we have our MOT to make sure that everything is fine physically, is the same way that we can also look after our mental well-being in regards to doing very similar things, being physical, exercise, movement. For me, nature plays such a healing factor and part of my life. And it's just, it's out of this world, the way we underestimate things which come free. We put so much value on things which are expensive, material things that cost a lot. But the things which are free, our mind, our thoughts, our words, we don't really value as much as we should, because these are the things that will create our world. Our thoughts and our words create our world. And this will have an effect. Just think about just people in general, the effect people have when you're around them who are refreshing. It's refreshing to be around certain people because they emit an energy through their words and their thoughts. And then there's others who have a draining effect, who, when we leave them, it's like a breath of fresh air. And sometimes we, in fact, need to go and take a walk because they've drained us on such a cellular level, So it's we have to always not take things just as a coincidence. These things are real, There are people who are very draining, but we also have to understand that the work is inside, and we can't just focus on what other people are doing, because it's an individual thing. It's our duty to concentrate on what we're putting out, the energy we're putting out, and what we are creating for ourselves, and everything starts in thoughts. We might not even realize it, but even moving our physical body, it's actually done through our mind first, and then it manifests in a physical sense. So everything that we go through in our life stems from our way of thinking, stems from the thoughts that we put out. So for me, I've always been very conscious of being aware of the kind of thoughts I'm producing. So I know when I'm having certain down moments, I know my thoughts play a direct is a result of it, because I'm putting out negative thoughts, or I'm concentrating on the negative sides of what's going on in my life. And I have to make sure I pull it back, because we're human. It comes with this human condition that we will have down moments. So nobody's perfect. Nobody is I'm far from saying that, yes, we have to live our life with all smiles and happiness. And in an ideal world, yes, but we go through the down moments as well. And the key is not to stay there for too long, and to know that the more you're thinking the negative thoughts, the more you're going to be thinking about negative thoughts, you know? So it's just, yeah, it's trial and error. It's trial and error. And the key is not to be afraid of the challenging situations, not to shy away from challenging situations, because we're redeeming. And these are very special times where everything is accelerated, where you can see it in the happenings in the world, in individuals, in the government, in organizations. You can see that these are very special times where everything is accelerated now. So now even people's emotions or feelings has morphed in and it's become very deceptive. So we can't just go ahead with that initial thoughts. That's why my grandmother used to always say to me, count to 10 before you react. And there is so much wisdom in that. Instead of just following that initial feeling, take a moment, you know, because we have many different layers that make up the core of us, which is spirit. The physical body has its own thought forms, its own wants and urges, you know, and all the different layers is not a reflection of us, our true self, which is our spirit. And a lot of people, and when I realized that many of the thoughts that would flitter into my mind wasn't coming from me, my core, that's when it made a massive difference, because so many people associate their thoughts, their feelings, their emotions with themselves. And that's where so many people can go wrong, you know. And it's just being aware of these things, because we only know what we've been taught, what we've grown up with. So it's just and it's time for a new way of thinking, because
that's it. But I don't want to press.
This is a very special time, and I'm gonna try and make it a little bit interactive, in a sense of I want us to do a little exercise. So I've spoken about the power of words and the power of thoughts. So I'm a firm believer that everything we see in this world is a manifestation of our thoughts, either collectively or individually. And so the greatest wonders, all the greatest achievement, the greatest companies, the greatest people who have walked this earth, all their achievements was once an idea, was once a thought that many people even said to them would never come to fruition, or for them to be realistic. You know, there's certain words that I don't adhere to, you know, being realistic. And what is realism? It's just somebody else's lack of belief. So I would just like to have a little moment for each one of us to just spend a minute to just envision your ideal world. Just picture yourself wherever you want to be. what you want for yourself. Picture yourself in that moment, whether it's that new house, whether it's that dream holiday, see yourself there. Feel the wind if you're outdoors. Just spend a moment just being in that moment, in your mind's eye. See it, feel it, smell it. Bring all your senses to life and just live in that moment. Because I promise you, that's the first step to achieving it. Is seeing it, believing that it's possible. Don't worry about the how, because that's none of your business. See it, work towards it. However, even if it's small steps. But there is a magical effect in your intuitive perception, in your imagination. It doesn't matter what has happened. It doesn't matter what mistakes, what has been said, what has been done that's wrong. None of that matters. From the moment you decide to change your volition, to change your path, you become new. And yes, people will remind you of the mistakes. But that doesn't matter. The laws in creation doesn't work that way. And this is the most special thing about this place called Earth. Is in that moment that you decide to change, the change is imminent and it's effective in that very moment. Is where you stand at that very moment that makes the difference. Not yesterday, not the day before, now. That's all that matters. Forget people, because people will have everybody has an opinion. People will always judge, but it's where you stand within yourself. Because the Most High knows. It knows your deepest volition. Words and thoughts, people can lie. People can deceive with their words and their actions. But energy doesn't lie. And we constantly putting out an energy. Threads. If we could see the reality of this creation, they're constant thought forms that we're putting out, that it's becoming real. And so if it's negative thoughts, you creating that form around you. And that's why you see certain people who struggle so much, and it manifests in what people call mental illness, and it manifests in other ways, which it can be physical illness. But everything is created from the ethereal, the thought forms, a deeper level, the spiritual level. Everything that we see in this world now stems from somewhere. It's a manifestation of something deeper. And so with this knowledge, we now have a duty to create something beautiful in this world. For we've all played a part in how this world is. And I know there's many people who look at the world and say, oh, these people do this, that people do that, always pointing the finger. But know that when you point your finger, you got 3 pointing back at you. So we've all played a part collectively in this world. So now is the time for us to change and to be new and do things in a different way. Because in fact, we are saving this world through what we put out, or we're causing its downfall, you know, and this is, your life is the greatest movie that you can ever imagine. You're the actor, you're the director, you're the cameraman, you're everything. What part do you want to play in your movie? And don't worry about the past. It's all about the now, you know? So it's just, yeah, there's certain words that I just want to go through. In fact, humility is one of my favorite words. We underestimate the value of being humble, because without humility, we will never learn. Without humility, we'll never even ask for help. And we live in a day and age now where we put so much value on ourselves, that we can do this, we can do that. Technology is advanced, mankind is doing great things, but in fact, we've regressed as a human race. Technology might have advanced, but as a human race, we've gone backwards. And we need to now understand that we're nothing without the Most High. We came from somewhere, we're going somewhere. We've forgotten our purpose. We're here in this earthly world, and now we think that our life is all about acquiring material wealth. We live to pay the bills. We live for our houses, our cars, our children, our parents. We're here to serve the Most High alone. And so we always have to pull it back. And yes, we're in the material world, so we have to have balance. We can't just be of a spiritual nature because we're in the material world. So it's all about, life is about balance, equilibrium. So we know that whatever we put out, we receive. Whatever we do for others, we're actually doing for ourselves. So we just constantly work on our inner self. We work on our thoughts, our words, and you can never be happy and sad at the same time. Well, some people are, and they probably end up in certain institutions, but in the reality of it, you can never be happy and sad at the same time. So when you feel overwhelmed with the challenges of life, take a moment and be aware of the thoughts you're producing, not just to others, but to yourself. And know that whatever you say to yourself, you will feel it. So I've been saying, when people ask me, oh, how are you? I'm wonderful, is mostly my reply. Sometimes I make up words, fantabulistic and the likes. But I've been saying it for such a long time. Even when I'm not feeling it, I will still say it. Because the mind has a way of, you believe what you say and you feel what you believe, you know? So be very mindful of what you're saying to yourself. If you're saying, oh, I feel weak. I feel, yes, I can understand that a lot of the times you might feel like that, but don't let it be your reality. Go against that, how you feel. Even if you don't feel well, say you feel great. You know, because it will affect you. Whatever you say, you become. So with that understanding, know that you have great responsibility in your words. Great power, in fact. Because your words create your world. So another word said humility, gratitude. Gratitude is a must. And there is no better time to be alive than right this moment. Don't let them fool you. Don't let them fool you and think, there's crisis. There's the living, whatever. I don't even listen to what people say because I don't internalize it. This is the greatest time to be alive. It's not a coincidence that we're all here. It's not a coincidence at all. And a lot of people think that I didn't ask to be born. A lot of children normally say that to their parents. It's you, I didn't ask to be born. Yes, you did. You just don't remember. There's so much things we don't remember, you know, and now we come and we all high and mighty, and you are even your name. You ask for your name. You are your name. Mm. You know, there's so much power in so much things. And this is a wonderful, wonderful time to be alive because we can make the necessary change. We can change our path in that moment, right there and then. We can redeem so much. We can uplift the world. And everybody's got a story. Everybody's been through challenging times in their lives. Use those challenges. They are your greatest assets. That is what gives you growth and character. And that's the only reason why we're here on this earth, is to experience. This is school. And it's not even university or secondary school or college. This is primary school. And we're all children learning how to walk. And so we have to just be aware of our surroundings and just look at life. So life is a living entity and it guides. So be very watchful and mindful of the situation that unfolds in your life. The left or the right that you take on your journey, and the people that present themselves in that moment, in that day, in that instance. What decision are you going to make? How do you want to be remembered? Because what you do in this life echoes in eternity. So be mindful of what you're putting out, because it will come back to you. And yes, I've kind of strayed off a little bit in regards to, in fact, no, it's all connected. Everything affects everything, because having a positive mindset is not just about what we say and what we do. It's also in the deed, in the action. And another word that I would like to speak about is kindness. Another great virtue. Because we live in a day and age now where people are so used to others who always take, who always want, that we forget that the law of reciprocal action, whatever we give,
comes back to you.
We'll receive. It comes back. So everybody now, it's all about me, 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 me. I. But we harm ourselves because that's what we're going to receive. So kindness, for me, kindness is something, is a way of life, you know, and love. And a lot of the time people, it's misconcepted in a sense of true love, because we live in an age where love has been, a lot of the virtues has been morphed and changed for people's means and gain. But love, true love, is only what benefits the individual, not what's pleasing. So sometimes to show true love doesn't make people happy. So we always have to this is time for, it's a new age now, a new way of doing things. Everything has to be new, and it starts from within. And I would like to just, if anybody wants, anything has resonated, or there's any comments, and we can just, do a little bit of interaction and just flow with it.
Please feel free to unmute yourselves if you have any questions, comments, ideas to share with Marvin. Thank you. Go ahead, Claudette, you've got your hand raised.
Okay, thank you so much. Marvin, it's always a pleasure listening to you. It makes me feel so relaxed and so in tune and connected with my surroundings and what you're saying. But when you started off and you mentioned about listening, it just reminded me of a Bible verse in the King James Version. I think it's in 1 James 19 to 20, where it says in a summary, be quick to listen and slow to respond. And those are some of the things it's so important for us in our lives, that we need to be hearing things. And some of the things we need to listen to is not what is being said, but the unsaid things, because it's a part of how we learn to be humble and to move forward.
100%. I absolutely agree, and I love that. And that's why it said we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we need to listen more than talk.
Yes.
And no, absolutely, that is just it's spot on in regards to just the humility, because it's just. And for me personally, as much as I've experienced and I've learned through life, I still know that I know nothing, and I'm always ready to learn. You know, I will never want to be in a standpoint where I think that yes, I know everything, because the more you understand life, is that for me, but anyways, I know nothing. I don't even literally, I don't even know how I'm even here now with all of you wonderful people, literally, because it's just I just flow, you know, and I'm just constantly just giving thanks and just, yeah, just opening myself to just the guidance. It's wonderful. Is there any other
Yes.
comments
I
or
would
any?
like to add a comment or a question. Say you need to come over here. Sorry, one moment.
Nah,
We
that's
don't-
right. Hello, Faye.
Comment.
Hi, Marvin. I'd just like to add a little bit to what Claudette said. It's also about looking. We look, we listen, and we learn. You can pick up such a lot from one's body language, as well as, listening to them. They don't have to say anything, but you can sense it. Well, I can anyway. And I'm sure a lot of people feel the same. And I think that's important as well. That's a very important aspect of listening.
Yeah.
Looking.
Absolutely.
Looking is important. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm finding this very interesting, and I certainly feel what you said, like give what you give out will return to you. And I think others, if you're giving out a good sense, if you're giving out good, positive information and advice, it is also being picked up by others who are looking and listening and are hearing what you say, and they can act on that. So you're giving off good vibes, you're feeling good yourself, and everything that comes from within, the honesty that comes and the openness, that will transfer into the people or person you're speaking to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. And in fact, it will even go beyond that, in a sense of uplifting the world, and there's so much that we underestimate, and in what we do in this life, in what we say, our words, our thoughts, our volition, we're creating the world that we will be going into when we leave this earth, because it's inevitable. We came from somewhere, we're going somewhere. This is an opportunity to create the world that you will be entering into, because birth and death are both very much connected. When we leave this earth, we're born into the so-called beyond, the spiritual world. And what we've done in this life through our actions, our words, and our thoughts will have a direct result on on the world that we will be entering. So we have to be very mindful of what we're doing, what we're saying, what we're thinking, because we're creating, we're building, and what kind of world do you want to go? Do you want to build for yourself? It's literally as simple as that. It's got nothing to do with other people. It's an individual thing, because somebody else can't build your world for you. You can't build somebody else's world for them. And it's as simple as that. We are here to build the world that we will be entering, and it's up to us. It's up to us, and it's wonderful. It's a wonderful adventure, and we just have to just constantly be appreciative of the fact that we're here. This moment, just waking up in the morning, is just so precious, and we're constantly constantly trying, because I'm far from perfect. I make mistakes. I've done wrong, and I'm just open, and just know that it's a journey. It's a step by step.
Thanks, Marvin. Sorry, my darling. We have hand raised from Grace after you're finished.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. Go ahead. Grace?
Yes,
And then
thank you,
yeah,
Martin. Thank you
yeah.
very much for it's a very thought-provoking topic, and I have enjoyed it very much. And I feel, and what I want to add is that as human beings, our minds controls what we do. And therefore, like you said, if we have a positive mindset, it will help us to go a long, long way. And I remember as a child, when you've done something wrong and the adult maybe curses you or say all sorts of horrible things to you. And I think if as a child you accept it, that that's how you are, that will control you. And therefore, I feel like we're adults now and we have to be careful even what we carry with us. And if somebody gives a very negative comment, being able to dispute it, or if you're not going to challenge them, just doing mind work on yourself, that I'm not going to let this control me. So it's a very good topic with a positive mindset. And sometimes even people giving diagnosis at the hospital, and some do the same treatment. It works for some, it doesn't work for others. And I think as those of us who are Christians, having that positive mindset will take us a long, long way. So thank you very much, and also for your the topic. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Grace. Thank you so much. That was so valuable and important. And in fact, it's so true in regards to for myself. When I was younger, I was, in fact, the naughty corner was my favorite place. I used to tell people, get out, that's my corner, don't go there. That's because I was so used to being there.
Yeah.
And so I just grew up just always being a certain way because I was told I was naughty. So I just thought, okay, I'm gonna be what self-fulfilling prophecy, whatever you say is how you're gonna be. So I was happy to just be that naughty child, and I grew up with that respect. And so many people through their childhood and what's been said to them is a direct result of how they live their life now, because of the things that's been said to them. Self-fulfilling prophecy is somebody's opinion we've taken as fact, and it's become our belief. So it's very, very good point that you brought up, Grace. Really appreciate that. And I think we have Tuesday.
Okay, Saturday. Anyway, Saturday, glad to be on your program for the first time. I do enjoy the program. But one of the words that stand out to me, humility. And I have to say it again, humility. Humility. When you mention it, it reminds me of, there was this prime minister in Jamaica. He used to talk, he used to say, to lead the people, you have to be humble and have humility. So the way how he was talking, and I mean, everybody loved that man because he was for the people and he would listen to people. And you know what I'm saying? So when you mention the humility, it brings me right back. And people must be humble and be kind and love each other and don't go on as if you're better than anyone. You understand? Because people do that. Even people do that with me, think they are better than me because I don't have a degree. I don't have a master's, but I know who I am. I have love, and I know I'm kind, and I know to interact with people. You understand me? So I don't make things like those bother me. You understand me? Yes. I just be who I am, and I am there for everyone.
Yes.
Positive mindset is the same thing. Positive mindset, because their mindset is because they think they have all this whatever, and because I don't have it, you are better than I am. But I don't think it that way. My positive mindset will take me as far as I want, because when I make up my mind and say I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, I do it.
Yes.
And I do it. You understand me?
Yes, yes.
So, and you already, from the time you know me, you know the little ways I am already. It's Saturday. And that word, yes, that word humility,
yes.
it means a lot to me.
Yeah,
Because
Thank
I
you
am a humble
so
person.
much.
I
Yeah.
know I am a humble person. I
Mm.
know who I am. I don't have to add on anything to me, and I don't have to take on anything. As you see me, that's me,
Yes.
isn't it? So thank you very much for having me.
Well, thank you, and you're very special. And that was a
Welcome.
very that was a very important topic that you've brought up, because
Yeah.
you're so right in a sense where this world is very much upside down, and people put value on things which are not as valuable as they think.
Mm,
Experience is the greatest asset.
yes.
Experience goes
Always.
in fact, everything that's learnt knowledge, we
Mm,
leave is finite. We leave it when we leave this earth. It stays with the brain, the physical body. But everything that you've experienced
mhm,
is connected to your spirit, which you take with you on your journey. So people spend their lives acquiring learned knowledge and filling their brains up with books and the likes, where that's going to be left with the physical body.
Right.
They're not going to be taking that with them. But what the spirit has experienced will live forever. And this is why it's all about experiencing things.
mm,
You know, not spending your life in front and acquiring learned knowledge, reciting a whole book and being able to recite and having how many letters before your name, because you haven't lived, you haven't experienced life and all that life has to give you and offer you. You know, so there will come a time where people with lived experience will be teaching, adding the
mm,
people with learnt knowledge. And
mhm.
we're not far from these times.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tuesday.
you.
Appreciate
Thank
you.
you very much. Thank you.
Show that. Oh,
Appreciate you all. Appreciate every single one of you, because we're all in this journey together. You know, we're all learning. We're all falling and standing, and we just, the key is not to give up, regardless of what people say or what you've been through or what you're going through. The key is to accept it. Accept it. Even if you don't understand why things are happening, give thanks for it.
Mm,
And be joyful as much as possible. Be joyful, because everything is by design. We just sometimes, a lot of the time, we don't know the reason why.
okay.
Claudia?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, hi, me again. um, while we're all talking, I was also thinking back. Have you ever heard somebody that said, "There's something about you that I like," or there's something about you"? You ever heard that? Well,
Yeah.
I was thinking again, looking back from the Almighty, is that there's a verse again that says, "Let your light so shine so that men can see and give glory to your Father in the heaven." Because you are what you do, you are shining his light.
Yeah.
Amma, is it Amma? You call yourself Abner or Amma? Amma? Okay. Tuesday, I'm talking. You are letting your light so shine so people can see. And that transparency is showing that, as you say, you like to embrace, you show love. And that is so important, because it does teach you that we are there as human beings to love one another. We're there as human beings to embrace one another. And there's no space for incongruity where you say one thing and do something else. You see what you get. Faye, you see what you get. You are who you are because you let your light shine. And that's exactly what the Almighty wants us all to do. So it's about making sure that you don't change because somebody says something to you negative. You be yourself, let your light keep shining. And I really love that. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks, Claudette.
So there's a question for you here, Marvin, on screen. I don't know if you can read it.
Yes.
It said, you mentioned we receive what we give. Does that mean those who inflict harms onto others, i.e. racism, will the dominant culture have the answer for the wrongs they continue to do to Black people?
Yes, absolutely. Everything that each person puts out, they will receive.
Mm.
Every single thing comes back.
Mhm.
And the thing that we also have to understand that there's very much deeper levels to everything. And we've been here many times before. I know a lot of people don't actually accept that, but we've had many lives.
Mm.
We've been here many times, and this is just a cloak. And so as much as, yes, we are who we are now, but let's take things with a pinch of salt, because we've also been many different races. And it's just that this is the cloak we have now. So yes, every single thing that we've put out, that each person has inflicted, not just on other people, on animals, on nature, because we are part of creation. We are creatures that's been created by the Creator. So every single thing that each person has put out will return. Inflicted, negativity, harm, hurt. And these are the times that has been prophesied about, is what we're living now. You can see it in nature. You can see it. Just observe. These are the times. And everything is returning to the originator. You can see the whole system globally is crumbling, poisonous. It's flawed, and that's even an understatement. And mankind has done too much in creation. And the light is going through this world and is bringing everything to light. Nothing can stay hidden anymore. And these are very special times, and that's why it's the greatest time to be alive, for us to redeem.
Could I ask a question, please?
Of course.
Okay. Thanks for your presentation. It's very interesting. What I want to ask, you said, when we said, like, we're not feeling well, we should always say we're well, or there's nothing wrong. But I don't understand, because if I'm suffering and you ask me, oh, how are you? Should I say, oh, I'm fine? That would be lying, because I am suffering. And I'm saying to you, I don't expect you to heal it, but I just want to say that, oh, I'm not all right. I am suffering. Because when we go to the doctors, we go to the doctor because something is wrong. So if there's nothing wrong with us, why are we going to the doctors? Yes, I don't want us to go around and say, oh, I'm not well every time. But there is times when you're not well and you should speak about it. The other thing, what you said about the children, the children said, oh, I wasn't asked to be born. I wasn't asked to be born, and so on. And then you said, yes, because even before they're born, they know. So how can that be?
So firstly, in regards to how when you're feeling
not well,
is the reality doesn't have to be your reality.
Mm.
Because there's so much power in, so for instance, when people go to the doctors and they're told they have a specific condition,
Mhm,
even if you did not have that, because it's a tick box.
mhm.
A lot of the things that it's a tick box that doctors do. They go for the symptoms and it's a tick box.
Yes,
And,
yes, yes.
and even if you didn't have that
Have
condition,
that. Mhm, mhm.
the fact that you have now internalized it and
Yes.
you believe it,
Mhm,
it will manifest and you will
Mhm.
get that condition.
mhm,
The power
mhm,
of the mind is so immense that we underestimate it. So
mhm,
I completely understand that you are in pain and you struggle, but
mhm,
do not let the reality become your reality.
mhm.
Just try it for a short period and see if it makes a difference. Because the more you say to yourself, and yes, it's not a matter of not being truthful,
Mhm,
because understand also that there's many layers that make up the core of you.
mhm,
So the physical, yes, the physical is in pain,
mhm,
but try your just change the way of speaking it, and even not just speaking it, but your thoughts.
mhm,
Because the more you give it more life, more
mhm,
energy
mhm,
through the words that, yes, this is how I feel.
mhm,
Because I've done it myself to a lesser
mhm,
degree when I've suffered from sciatica in the past.
mhm,
And the more I say, yes, it's so painful, it's so painful, it's so painful, it will be so painful, it would be so painful.
mhm,
And it's just trial and error. But there are
mhm,
certain times where it's impossible because the pain is so great,
mhm.
but it's just small steps. It's just small steps.
Okay.
And just try it, because just try and do it in a different way.
Mhm,
It
mhm,
just for a short period of time, a week or two, just
mhm,
speak what you want how you want it to be. Even if you're gritting your teeth through it, the pain, I'm great. Please just try it and see the impact it has, because chemicals release through words and thoughts
mhm,
that
mhm,
flow through your body. And it's not even just on a physical level, on a spiritual level, there's always helps that's
mhm.
constantly waiting to give us release from our physical ailments and pain. So just open yourself up to
To
these
God.
helps. And the channel is through the words and the
Mhm,
thoughts.
mhm,
So
mhm, mhm.
yeah, just try it.
Yeah, because we know that God is a healer. He's a great healer. But at times when we have in pain, we do talk about, oh, I'm not feeling well today. But when what you're saying, we not to cherish it.
Yeah, and also just look for the reason for the pain,
Yes, yes, yes.
because it stems from something. Just
Mhm,
reflect on
mhm,
life, reflect on certain things, because there's a
mhm,
reason. Because now that this day and age is all about waking us up spiritually, our
yes,
spirit.
yes,
So
yes.
things that are given to us is through love, so that
Mhm,
we can also be able to wake up. It's like the
yes.
universe, the Almighty is trying to wake us up, because
Amen.
we're on the precipice.
Mhm,
And I know
mhm,
time is going.
Time has
mhm,
gone.
mhm,
So,
Time has
mhm,
gone. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
unfortunately, everyone,
Thank you, Marvin.
get,
Thank
No,
you.
we do
thank
get
you.
kicked out of the wellness
Mhm.
center literally at past. But Marcia wanted to add a comment. A quick comment,
I wanted
and
to say something that what the lady was saying about her pain. 2 weeks ago, I had my left leg at my knees swollen very, very, very bad.
My one's swollen here now.
It pained me so much. It pained me so much. I had it in mind, I was going to the doctor, but then I said to myself, I said, no, I'm not going to any doctor, because all I'm going to give me is medication. And
Mhm,
even though I was going through all that pain, yeah,
mhm,
I just applied my little ointment and thing like
mhm,
that. I walk, I hop, I do everything, but I take it out of my mind, as I say, mindset. So I
mhm.
kind of forget it out of my mind, even though I was feeling it and going through it. And literally, I'm out today. So it is
Mhm.
in our mind. And